Okay, hello. I am, as you can see, back in my craft room because this is just a quiet place that I can do my videos without anyone interrupting me. So today it's just a very bad, messy, rainy day here. So I thought that I would maybe do a little tips for different things. And one of the things that I want to start off with, as you know, next Friday, the October the 2nd, that will be our next food pickup. And we'll be doing it just the way we've always done it. You know, you pull through, we load it in your trunk, make sure your trunk's open, and then leave. And that information is also on the sheet that you received in your packet with your soap. So be sure and read that. And in the meantime, we'll try to call you and remind you that it's what day your pickup is. But as of right now, it's next Friday, October the 2nd. And so I just want to share with you about something. In the past, we have given out, well, we continue to give out in your 5-packs of your SSMs and your 7-packs. And sometimes you get it, you know, just at random occasionally when we have a lot of leftovers. But you get this powdered milk in your SSM boxes. And so I want to give you some tips or ideas of things that you can use this for besides just making milk. Because to make milk with this one little packet of contents, you would add 8 ounces of water, and that'll just make some drinking milk. However, sometimes when you're baking, you don't want to have to go to all the trouble to mix it up and do all that. So the powder can be used in your recipes for baking just to add that little bit more richness and a type of agent that will help to thicken more. And so this is excellent for it. So I want to give you a way you can use these. If you're not using these, or you don't like it as drinking milk, then it's excellent to put in your recipes. So I'm going to tell you what you can do, how you can mix some of these things, and then a couple of little recipes. But we're going to learn how to use non-fat dry milk in your food storage. That will save you money and time. There's says the addition of powdered milk in your food storage is a great way to save money. But what about the claim that powdered milk is full of oxidized cholesterol? Should you even have it in your food storage to begin with? Well, according to the Nutrition Diva, non-fat dried milk is not going to be a significant source of oxidized cholesterol because non-fat milk contains almost no cholesterol to begin with. It would be different if you were thinking about storing powdered eggs, which do contain a lot of cholesterol. But there are 2 kinds of powdered milk. The first kind is instant non-fat powdered milk that's made with a process that results in larger flakes and is easy to mix with a spoon or a blender because it dissolves in water easily and instantly. Hence the name instant non-fat powdered milk. Let me go back. There are the one kind in the instant non-fat powdered milk, that milk is, it would be the kind of milk, let's see, let me make sure I don't get this mixed up. It also makes a better drinking milk, some say, based on taste. But this would be the kind to use for hot cocoa mixes or whenever you want the milk to dissolve quickly. So you can keep all these packets on hand, and this is fortified non-fat powdered milk. So the regular non-fat powdered milk is more difficult to mix than the instant. It is slower to dissolve and requires more stirring. The best way to reconstitute it is with hot water in a blender or with a wire whisk. It requires chilling before it can be served as drinking milk. Price-wise, non-instant milk is the frugal purchase because you will use less in cooking. This is what I purchase in bulk. It's also the kind of non-fat powdered milk you can make yogurt with. But this, I believe, this is the non-fat powdered milk, and I want to say it's probably the instant kind. So I'm going to open one of these just to see what the flakes look like, because it says that on the instant non-fat powdered milk, it's made with a process that results in larger flakes. So this would be, and I don't know if you can see what this looks like in here, but it's just a powder. There are no flakes. So can you guys see that? It's just a powder. So this is going to be the instant non-fat powdered milk that you can use. Okay, so let me tell you that there was an in-depth comparison of 10 different powdered milk varieties, and while the cost per can is probably outdated, it will give you a starting place to compare taste, if you want to compare the taste. To improve the taste, some people add 1.5 cups of sugar and up to 1 teaspoon of vanilla to taste, and to me that would make it like a vanilla milk, more or less. So, the powdered milk cooking tips from Washington State, and this is what they've all written these up to help you with measuring out for whatever you want to substitute. In cooked cereals such as oatmeal, grits, those type things, add 3 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk powder to each 1/2 cup of dry cereal prior to cooking. Use the same amount of water as called for in the package directions when cooking the cereal. So you cook the cereal just as the directions tell you to, but you want to add 3 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk powder to each 1/2 cup of dry cereal. And it says, for a thicker and more nutritious milkshake, add 1 or 2 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk powder per serving. So according to this, the powdered milk added to your milkshake that you're making is going to make it thicker and a little more nutritious if you make your own milkshakes. And sometimes we do, because we use the sugar-free ice cream and make them. So if you're a diabetic and you want to try that, use the sugar-free ice cream to make your milkshake and add the powdered milk to that. Add 1/4 cup of milk powder to each cup of fluid milk when making biscuits, muffins, pancakes, yeast breads, cookies, and cakes. This will cause your recipe to be firmer and to brown faster. Lowering the baking temperature or reducing the amount of sugar will reduce this browning effect. So if you want to have your recipe to be firmer, your recipe of biscuits, if you want them to be firmer and to brown faster, then add the powdered milk to those. Add 1/2 cup non-fat dry milk powder when reconstituting canned soup. Add 1/2 cup non-fat dry milk powder per can of condensed soup when making casseroles such as tuna noodles with cream of mushroom soup. And I guess that makes maybe the casserole a little richer and just a little richer than adding water or whatever it is you're adding fluid wise. That sounds pretty good. I think I might try that with the biscuits and see how they do with that in it. The next one is to add 1/2 cup of non-fat dry milk powder when making mashed potatoes, using 1/3 cup per 4 servings of dry instant mashed potatoes. So you want to add 1/3 cup of milk powder per 4 servings of your mashed potatoes, and then the rest of the ingredients that you have to add for those. Let's see. On this one, you add 1/2 cup of dry milk powder for every pound of ground meat before browning. Add 2/3 cup non-fat dry milk powder for every pound of ground meat when making a meatloaf or meatballs. I don't know what the purpose of the milk powder is other than to add some denseness to your ground beef, just like when you add breadcrumbs, but I'm sure that the milk powder may add a little more consistency in the meat when you mix it up and that density. So I'll have to try that too. I don't usually put milk in my meatloaf or my meatballs when I make them, but you can always try and see how it turns out. Add 1/4 cup of dry milk powder to each cup of fluid milk, or add 1/2 cup non-fat dry milk powder to each cup of water or broth when you're making puddings, custards, gravies, and sauces. And this helps to thicken the sauce and the gravy a little quicker. There is a conversion chart that I printed off, and I'll give you a minute to get you a pen if you want to write these down. Or you can just go back and watch the video and slow it down until you get all the ingredients if you missed this. But if you want to write it down now, I have, this is called Powdered Milk Cooking Conversion Chart. And what it says is, and this is good because sometimes if you're out of milk and you need some milk, it's always good to know how much you need to mix up to put in something. So 1 cup of milk equals 1 cup of water plus 3 tablespoons of powdered milk. So did you get that? 1 cup of milk equals 1 cup of water plus 3 tablespoons of powdered milk. So that 1 cup of water and 3 tablespoons of powdered milk is going to be as if you were adding your 1 cup of milk to your recipe. 3/4 cup of milk called for in a recipe equals 3/4 a cup of water plus 2 1/4 tablespoons of powdered milk. So you want to add 3/4 cup of water and 2 1/4 tablespoons of powdered milk, which will equal a 3/4 cup of regular milk. For 2/3 cup of milk, that equals 2/3 a cup of water plus 2 tablespoons of powdered milk. You mix that up and it equals 2/3 cup of milk. For 1/2 a cup of milk, you want 1/2 a cup of water plus 1 1/2 tablespoons of powdered milk. 1/3 a cup of milk equals 1/3 a cup of water plus 1 tablespoon of powdered milk. And then 1/4 a cup of milk equals 1/4 cup of water plus 3/4 tablespoon of powdered milk. So there's all your conversions for regular milk called for in a recipe. If you don't have the milk, you can use the powdered milk and follow these conversions. There is a recipe as well using the powdered milk. If you want to try this and you don't have this, you can make your own sweetened condensed milk, and that's equal to a 14-ounce can that you buy in the store. You can put all the ingredients in a blender and blend it really, really well, and it will taste like sweetened condensed milk. So you want 1/2 a cup of hot water, 1 cup of powdered milk, dry powdered milk, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of butter. And you want to put that on the stove and you want to blend it very, very well. It does not say to put it on the stove. It just says to blend it in the blender. But I'm thinking that maybe the sugar would have to melt. I don't know. It doesn't say that here. So I guess we'll just assume that since it's going to be hot water already, and you're putting your sugar and your powdered milk into the hot water, then that's probably going to help dissolve the sugar, so you really don't need to cook it. I guess that's what it means. So you mix that 1/2 cup of hot water. You pour in 1 cup of powdered milk and 1 cup of sugar and a tablespoon of butter. And I want to say the tablespoon of butter may need to melt, melt it before you put it in there. But anyway, the tablespoon of butter goes in as well. So blend that in a blender if you have one, and blend it very, very well. So the next one is to make your own evaporated milk. If you don't have evaporated milk in your cabinet and you look and you say, oh no, I didn't get any at the store, I'm out, you can make your own and just blend this very well in a blender too. It's 1 1/2 cups of water and 1/2 cup plus 1 tablespoon of powdered milk. And you pour all that together and just mix, mix, mix very well. You can use a whisk or you can use a rubber spatula and just stir it really, really good. A whisk would be better because it helps to let everything flow through and break it up. So there you have evaporated milk if you don't have any at home. Let's see. Make your own buttermilk or sour milk. And I have done this when I was out of buttermilk, and it turned out fairly well. You take 1 cup of water, 1/4 cup of powdered milk, and you add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice or white vinegar to a cup of milk and let it stand for 5 to 10 minutes. So what you want to do is mix your water and your powdered milk. That's 1 cup water, 1/4 cup of powdered milk, and then you want to add a tablespoon of lemon juice or a tablespoon of white vinegar in your milk in that mixture and let it stand for 5 to 10 minutes. And when you go back and check it and you stir it, it's going to be thick. It's going to be thicker. And it works really well in place of buttermilk. For a basic dry pudding mix that you can store and keep to make pudding, it's 1 1/2 cups of sugar, 2 1/2 cups of instant powdered dry milk, 1 1/4 cups of flour, and 1 teaspoon of salt. You stir all these ingredients together until mixed really well, and you can store it in a tightly covered container in a cool place, and it makes enough mix for 24 servings. So that's pretty awesome. If you have grandkids that love pudding and you don't keep it on hand all the time, just mix you up this dry mix for pudding, and you can probably flavor it any way you want to. After you get it mixed up, you could put some flavoring. If you wanted vanilla, you could use some vanilla flavoring, vanilla extract, and make it into a vanilla pudding. Add strawberries to it, mix strawberries up, and then add that to your pudding. You'd have strawberry pudding. All kinds of ingredients that you can use and recipes to make it something besides just a plain pudding. So the last one I think that I have 2 more. Whipped topping. If you need some whipped cream for any of your recipes, you add 1/2 a cup of ice cold water, 1/2 a cup of sugar, 1/2 a cup of powdered milk, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and you put your okay, I got confused about the instructions. Okay, you take the ice cold water, 1/2 cup of ice cold water, you pour it into a bowl that you've had sitting in the freezer where it's really cold. You add your milk and beat with a cold egg beater until stiff. Add sugar slowly while beating, and then add lemon juice and beat only until well mixed. And that will make you a whipped topping out of powdered milk for a pie that you're making, or say at Thanksgiving you want to make a sweet potato pie and you need some whipped topping to go on top of it. That would be awesome. So you can use some of your powdered milk without letting it go to waste. The last one is a good one. This is for making hot cocoa or chocolate milk mix. You would want to have 1 cup of cocoa, 4 cups of powdered milk, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 a cup of sugar, or if you're diabetic, you can have the equivalent amount of sugar substitute. In this case, I use Splenda. So you would have to have 3/4 cup of Splenda to go with that recipe. Combine all the ingredients and store in a tightly covered container. Now you have to remember to mix it really, really well with the cocoa and the Splenda, if you're using Splenda, and make sure it gets mixed up really, really evenly, so that when you use it, you're not going to have too much cocoa and it'll be a little bitter. Just make sure it's mixed very well. Combine all those ingredients and store it in a tightly covered container. To make 1 cup of hot cocoa or chocolate milk, use 1/2 cup of mix and 1 cup of water. Combine part of the water with mix and stir to make a smooth paste. Add remaining water and blend well. Heat to make hot cocoa or chill to make chocolate milk. That's a pretty good recipe for hot cocoa if you just want to make it on your own. I have tried making hot cocoa with my just regular cocoa, and sometimes it doesn't turn out exactly right, so I need the proper recipe to make hot cocoa. And then you can take and if it's hot cocoa, you can use some marshmallows on top. That would be really, really good. So that is a good way to use your powdered milk so that it does not go to waste. I don't want it to go to waste. So let's see. We have, I'm going to give you just a little bit of this. I don't have time to do a whole lot on this today. However, we all have used Epsom salt at some point in our life, I'm sure. Whether it's making a warm foot bath, just to soak your feet in, or whatever you're planning to do. But have you ever thought about, do you know what Epsom salt is? Epsom salt is named for a spring known for its salinity in Surrey, England. Epsom salt is not actually made from salt. Instead, it consists of a pure mineral compound of sulfates and magnesium. It has long been used to treat a variety of ills, as well as helping with beauty and household needs. Because Epsom salt can be quickly absorbed into the skin, it is an ideal supplement for many different uses. It contains magnesium, which helps to regulate enzymes and nerve function in the body. It can also contribute to deterring the hardening of arteries. Blood clots can also be diminished with the use of Epsom salt. I don't know that I've ever heard that one, but some doctors promote Epsom salt as a deterrent to sudden heart attacks. It also helps heal minor cuts. People have been using this standard household item for hundreds of years, and it has found many varied uses for it. Magnesium also aids in the absorption of other minerals and nutrients. So one thing that I know that Epsom salt helps with is to relax and de-stress the body. Stress can increase the adrenaline found in your body and decrease the magnesium level. Epsom salt that is dissolved in warm water can help your body to absorb magnesium, which produces a calming surge of adrenaline. And that calming surge of adrenaline, now remember it says calming surge of adrenaline. That means it calms you down and de-stresses your body, whereas adrenaline, on the other hand, that you get a hyped up surge of adrenaline is when something happens that causes you to have to move quickly to do something. I know you've heard of people in a wreck, when they've seen a wreck, and they immediately jump out to help. And I've heard of men going to help with a wreck where they have lifted an entire car off of someone, and it's because the adrenaline was so strong that it gave them that extra power to be able to do that. It was pumping so strong, they were able to do that. So it also has the opposite effect. It has a calming surge of adrenaline. Research has shown that if you soak in Epsom salt at least 3 times a week, you will increase your energy level while decreasing stress. It works in soothing muscle aches and spasms, or even in the pain associated with childbirth. The use of Epsom salt can help you relax and reduce stress, which leads to less anxiety and much better moods. It can also help with insomnia. If you can't sleep, Epsom salt can help you relax enough that you can go to sleep a lot easier. For an Epsom salt bath, and you may already know these measurements, but to take an Epsom salt bath, you want about 40 minutes to soak in it. Children who weigh less than 60 pounds, add 1/2 cup of Epsom salt. For persons weighing 60 to 100, add 1 cup of Epsom salt. For individuals weighing 100 to 150 pounds, add 1.5 cups of Epsom. If you weigh 150 to 200, you add 2 cups. Then you would add 1/2 cup per 50 pounds more. So if you weighed 250, you would add 2.5 cups. If you weighed 300, you'd add 3 cups. So this is use on a regular sized bathtub, by the way. So you'd have enough water in it to actually cover yourself if you're going to sink down in the tub. It can also relieve pain. Inflammation and suffering can be eased by soaking in Epsom salt or creating a thick paste to apply to abrasions or sore muscles. It has been used to help with muscle strains, sprains, and even migraine headaches. I've never heard that it would help on something like that, so that might be a thought. Any of you that have migraine headaches especially, to try that. Either soaking in the tub with Epsom salt or creating a thick paste to apply to your neck. Maybe that might help to alleviate the migraine. Maybe put some on your temples. That could be beneficial to you for your migraines. Epsom salt is known to increase blood circulation as well, so this aids in the treatment of heart disease and artery problems, and it can also lessen the severity of diabetic complications. So I am a diabetic, so I need to be soaking in an Epsom salt bath every now and then to see if it really works. And I have some top 30 uses for Epsom salt, which I'm going to continue next week with my next video. I will be on vacation, so I've got to get my video ready and get it uploaded. And so we'll have part 3. Well, actually, it'll be part 1 of next week's video. This video will be going on Monday. And then my next video will be the following Monday, and it will have the continuation of the Epsom salt tips on what all you can do with it to help different things. So I hope that you've enjoyed our 2-part video this week. Our first part being the pinecone bird feeder, and I hung mine outside, and I've actually had a bird trying to eat from that. So you might want to find a good way to try to put it out there instead of hanging. Maybe glue it onto a post or something so that they can sit and eat from it instead of having to hang on it. So I may have to change mine a little bit, but it seems to be they're enjoying it. So I hope you enjoyed doing that if you have made one, and I hope you did. So anyway, this part 1 will be the pinecone bird feeder, and the second part will be powdered milk and how to use that in baking, and then some health tips with Epsom salt. And I will continue the tips with Epsom salt on my next video. So I hope to see y'all the next time. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to doing the next one with y'all. I miss y'all so much, and I miss the center, and you know, we're just praying that we can be safe and not open up too quickly, but make sure that everyone is safe when we do. And until then, we'll continue doing what we're doing and sharing with you this way, and seeing you on food pickup days and all kinds of things. So maybe we'll play a game on one of my next videos, and some kind of an internet game, online game that we can do, and that'll be a lot of fun. So I will talk to you guys later. Stay safe, stay inside, and don't get around a big crowd of people, and make sure you social distance and wear your mask. Bye-bye.